Hello, welcome to the weekly Tron session. So this is the weekly chart of Tron price, and the tags are Wyckoff stages. You can look at this that way for the time being before getting into details. For new joiners, these are the key areas I will focus on, and they're based on two main concepts. Also, these are for education research purpose only, and also for discussion with the online community here and not financial advice. Please take note. Let's get started with Tron. So if I zoom into this distribution cycle, basically we have seen two sign of weakness points already. And the price, like I mentioned last week, it's going to fluctuate between the yellow and the purple line. So it went above earlier this week, and then like once it's past the purple line, somebody started selling, and now it returns to the purple and yellow zone. So in terms of Wyckoff, if we look at this tiny distribution cycle in 2021, after sign of weakness, there can be some bounces that go above this purple line. Let me draw this so it's easier to compare. So the purple line is where the automatic reaction was after the buying climax. Same thing we have over here, but this time like we had one. Let me pull this out. That's, let's say this is where the second test was, a very tiny second test, and then now we're at this level. So if there's really, well, we can also call these like LPSY as well. So for simplicity reason, let me pull this over. We've got two LPSY already. And like, it doesn't mean it can't go above the purple line. If there's some really good news, it can retest. However, if it doesn't, then like a gradual thing would happen is it breaks the yellow line and then come further down to test the level where the PSY was. But for now, it doesn't seem like the case unless there's some particular reason triggering the fall. Maybe geopolitical reason or some other economic reason. In terms of daily chart, if we zoom down one level, basically the price is bouncing at the lower half of the short-term playground zone. I already mentioned about this last week, or I think. If we look at even shorter term, let me draw the box over here. There seems to be a mini playground zone happening right now. So here, so if like there's no particular good news, the price may come up to this level where the midway of the short-term playground zone is. That's around 26 cents before it like comes down again. All these zigzag patterns, right? So when it gets to this point, it's going to be interesting whether it can shoot through the middle line, and then would it do something like this and then come back down. That's what we're trying to observe and see how it develops, right? In terms of volume, let me make it larger. No particular pattern. Like they just go up and down, up and down, up and down. So basically it's some very narrow range movements that's likely going to continue for a while, unfortunately. So let me draw one more box and tell you what I see over here. I'll change it to another color so it's easier and it won't mix up with the short-term playground zone. So if I change this to yellow, basically what we have is this. Actually, let me put here, it's flatter than it should be, and then shrink it a little so it's tighter. I usually tend to make it tighter and leave some peaks outside. This is my way of being more risk sensitive, let's put it this way. I try to not go to the extremes, even though the price may go outside of the box a little. So I mentioned earlier there's the upward trend that we saw over the past 2 weeks. Other color, let's use maybe blue. Yep, so that's the short upward trend like over the past 2 weeks. Let me enlarge this so it's easier. However, the yellow box is like a longer term trend that's set since say December 18th last year. So we can see whenever the price hits the top of this yellow box, it comes back down, right? It happened a few times already, like 6 or 7 times, if not 9 to 10. So it's always coming back down if we look at the wicks. This week, the past 3-4 days, it tried to break the top of the yellow line, but it didn't. It wasn't successful. So an interesting thing that we're seeing now, we have 3 boxes over here, one pink, one blue, and one yellow. So they are of different time frames. The pink one is obviously relatively a little bit longer than the yellow one, and then we have this blue box. So when we look at the price, it comes down and kind of went through the yellow, and then it bounced back to the top of the yellow, and then returns and hit both the bottom of the yellow and the pink box, and then comes back up and a little bit down, not all the way, and then tries another round to test the top of the yellow box again, and then it pokes through the yellow box bottom. Actually, it first touches the bottom of the pink box, bounced a little, and then touched the bottom of the yellow box, and then immediately comes back up to the bottom of the pink box, and then bounce between the blue and the yellow, and now we're hitting a gap. So it's kind of like a wedge, right? If we take the top line of yellow and the bottom line of the blue box, it's like a pattern in the candlestick theory, right? So that's where it gets interesting. So like I said, it can either go up and test the middle part of their pink short-term playground zone, and interestingly, it's also the top of the blue box. So is it a coincidence or whatever you want to name it? That's how I see how these 3 boxes are crossing each other right now, and that's going to be interesting to see if it really breaks out of one of these pink, not pink. Pink is difficult to break unless it's like very big news. Negative, it goes down. Positive, it can try the upper half of the pink box. But blue and yellow are relatively easier to break, and it looks to me it's getting to that point now. So let's see how it develops. I'll keep these boxes over here and set them to just for this daily time frame, and then next week we can come back and take a look and see what actually happened. So thanks for joining this session. I'll move on to Cardano next. See you over there. Cheers.